Hello class, and this episode, as you can see by the title, is about co-op. I figured since I did 2 episodes on PvP, I might as well do another episode on co-op. Now after this video, that'll be it for Dark Souls, unless you guys want to see more of my fist run. So this is just an example build. Really, co-op is just whatever works for you in PvE. Basically just do what works. So this is a pretty early game character. It's about the right level, and you need the white sign soapstone in order to actually do co-op. So how it works is, you leave your sign down, someone who wants help and is in human form can summon you to help them beat the boss. I already talked about white phantoms. You can be healed by the host, but you cannot use your Estus Flask. That's pretty much the only difference. And once you manage, except I think you get half the souls of all the enemies killed. I think that's how it works. Bosses also get increased health if the host is a phantom. Other than that, it's not too bad, but it works. So anyway, so just leave your sign down, the host can summon you, and you play with them through the level from where you placed your sign all the way up to the boss. Once you beat the boss, you get half the souls for the boss, of course, and a humanity, as well as a sunlight medal if you belong to the Warriors of the Sunlight Covenant, which I believe I already talked about in a previous video. So, as with PvP, you cannot use your Estus Flask, so you need some way to heal yourself. This makes clerics and faith-based builds especially helpful because they have healing spells. So that's pretty nice. You should also be extremely familiar with the area that you are in, so you can guide the host, who is probably not that experienced because they summoned help, to places where they may have missed loot or something like that. Although just expect your host to get into trouble all the time. Now you're going to need a few special gestures. You start with most of them, like the pointing gestures and the beckon gesture, basically signifying that go here and yeah, go here or come here, something, that kind of thing. So you may have noticed the Games Windows Live thing I just popped up. That was just letting you guys know that there is an in-game chat, or rather a Games Windows Live chat, that you can use to communicate with the person that you have summoned. So that's kind of how it works. Anyway, you can go ahead and just place your sign down anywhere in the level. There are some good places to put it, like for example right near the boss fog gate, in case you kind of want help with the boss. Generally, it's more profitable to just go right ahead and place it near the beginning of the level, especially if it's especially useful if you place it somewhere near a bonfire. So that'll be the smartest way to do things, because if you place it near a bonfire, people will be able to easily go human form and summon you. So it's either near a bonfire, or if there's no good space near a bonfire, right next to the boss fog gate. So I have this bow ready so I can snipe out enemies early. Now, it is the Phantom's job to distract enemies. It is the Phantom's job to distract enemies and keep the host out of trouble. So you basically are the rush-in first kind of guy in any co-op situation. You're like the first one to duel the red Phantom or whatever. And yeah, it's a pretty simple kind of thing. Now there is one thing I should probably mention. If you go out of bounds of the area that you are in, your sign will actually disappear. Like right into this bonfire area is actually one of the out of bounds areas. So right in here, and the summon sign disappears. Now, when you're summoned as a phantom, white fog gates that you cannot get past will appear. I'll show you guys more of that in a bit. Once it actually gets summoned, of course. So leave your sign down and simply wait. So there you go. It's pretty simple. It's basically just your job to take all the hits, because when you die as a phantom, you don't lose anything. And I believe you respawn at the nearest bonfire, or possibly where you were when you got summoned. So there's no risk in being a phantom, and plenty of gain. So yeah, looks like this guy knows what he's doing. So he's got quite a thing worked out. So I'm gonna go ahead and snipe this guy. As you can see, I got about half of the souls I would normally get. Looks like a Dark Spirit has just invaded, allowing me to show you how PvP works. Unfortunately, since this is a low-level character, I am definitely not as well equipped as this Red Phantom is. And he gets a surprise one-shot on me. That at least allows me to show you what happens when you die as a Phantom. So it's your job to keep the Red Phantom off of the boss so that you can continue co-oping and eventually hopefully beat the boss. This is also a nice way to play with your friends, but it's very hard to connect to them, surprisingly enough. It's possible it could take hours. So just be forewarned, if you want to play this game with your friends, it's a little harder than you may think. Now, it's also a good idea to probably clear out all the enemies in the area that you're planning to wait in. Although, while you have your sign up, you can actually explore a little bit of the area that you can access while you're a phantom, which is pretty much all the way right up to the boss. Your sign does disappear when you go into the boss gate, but you can explore all the way up to the boss. So yeah, it's pretty easy. Just you can leave your sign down and then go explore a bit of the area should you want. It's a good way to grind up souls. Leaving your sign down, killing a few enemies over and over again. Resting at a bonfire does not cancel the sign, by the way. And yeah, so the best way to get summoned, as you can probably imagine, is to just leave the sign up. So yeah. And apparently the summoner died. So yeah, when the summoner dies, you return to your world. Pretty simple. So anyway, here I am again. Sorry about all the jump cuts, but it works. So it's this guy again. Looks like he's the only one actually summoning. So you may have noticed the white fog gate across the bonfire area. This is signifying that you cannot access that area at this time. It's a pretty simple kind of thing. Basically, when you're a phantom, there's some areas you can't access just to prevent you from beating the entire game and then going and getting a boss, or that kind of thing. I don't really know why you would do that, but there are restrictions in place. Anyway, so the host can summon up to 2 phantoms at once, so don't be surprised if there's a little help, or he summons an NPC to help as well. Now, as you can see, it's my job to charge ahead and take out the enemies before the host can get into any trouble, but it looks like the host knows what he's doing. So it looks like he's got everything under control. Maybe he's even in New Game Plus or something, I don't know. But he knows what he's doing, so I can just follow along without fear of him dying to a stupid thing, like some bosses, like some summoners might, like noobish summoners might go into a trapped area or die immediately or something like that. But this guy knows what he's doing, so lucky for me. So yeah. Anyway, I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, the best way to get summoned is to just leave your sign up, because it broadens your IP pool of people that can see your sign and gives you a better chance of meeting someone that actually wants to be summoned, wants to summon you. So no matter what you see, do not spam it. That's actually the biggest advice going around, the most advice going around. Basically, just leave your sign up. Do not spam it. Like, place it and then take it away and then replace it. That, because of Games for Windows Live and that kind of thing, it actually sends false signals out. It says delayed signals that don't actually exist out to other worlds. People will see you and try to summon you, but won't be able to, because your sign doesn't exist anymore in your world. Or rather, that instance of your sign. So yeah, be a little bit careful with that. So with a phantom, it's a simple matter to just go ahead and take out all the harder enemies, because you have 2 people working at it, not just 1. Now keep in mind, enemies cannot be harmed while they're in a backstab or a parry animation caused by the other person. But it's pretty simple. It's not that you don't have to worry about it too much. Anyway, so I don't really know what else to say. It's just it's a pretty simple thing. Now I may have mentioned the Warriors of the Sunlight Covenant earlier. If you saw in the description of my advanced PvP training video, the Gold Phantoms are members of the Warriors of Sunlight Covenant, and basically they're just a fancier version that get more rewards for beating the boss. I'm probably talked about how to join them, but in case I didn't, you go to the Altar of Sunlight, which I should have showed in my second Undeadburg video or something like that, or the equivalent, I don't really know. But basically, you just go there with either 25 faith or enough times beating the boss of the area, or any area really. Anytime you co-op and help beat a boss of an area, you the faith requirement for the Sunlight Bros, as they're called, goes down by 5. So you can effectively reduce the requirement down to 0 just by beating the boss 5 times. So once you're in the Covenant, you gain access to the only offensive faith spells that I know about, the lightning spears. Although there are a couple more like Wrath of the Gods and Emit Force and that kind of thing. Lightning spears is my personal favorite because it works like a soul arrow. So yeah, pretty simple. It does require a lot of faith to use, so if you're not planning on being a cleric, the only reason to join the Warriors of the Sunlight is to see more Warriors of the Sunlight, like you, in the co-op arena, because you gravitate towards seeing them as a Warrior of the Sunlight, or perhaps just getting the Sunlight medals, or just being more noticeable and more friendly in co-op. Yeah, it's pretty simple. There are a couple more co-op oriented covenants, like for example the Princess Guard or the Way of the White, but those aren't really terribly important to talk about. They don't have any special colors or anything. Basically the co-op covenants, the Way of the White, the Princess Guard, and the Warriors of the Sunlight, basically just tend to see more members of their covenant when looking for PvP friends. And yeah, it's pretty simple. I don't really know what else to say. Yeah, just so like if you're in the Way of the White, you would see more Way of the White people that could be summoned. As you can see, you cannot get through that white fog there, so you can't get into the darker garden from the berg up there. Anyway, so that was a mini boss fight. You're definitely not supposed to do that, although I had just enough armor to be able to resist Havel's smash. So yeah, that is how you get down to the Havel boss fight, mini boss fight, from the Undead Berg. So it's another little interesting walkthrough bit that I managed to show you in this video. I still didn't really want to fight him, but this guy appeared to want to, and it's your job to follow along with the host and make sure he stays alive long enough for you to be able to beat the boss. So yeah. Now you may have noticed that when I'm a phantom, I'm automatically in human form. That's just a bonus for being a phantom. There's even if you're hollow form, like you can be for the Forest Hunters or Warriors, or as a co-op phantom, it's you simply have human form while you're a phantom. It just helps with looks. So you cannot enter the boss fog gate until the host enters it, and the boss fight does not start until the host enters it. You may have noticed the message that said the area boss can now be challenged once the guy entered the white fog gate. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's a trick to fighting co-op with the Taurus Demon. The host rushes out and triggers the boss fight, because only the host can do that, and all the phantoms line up on top and take turns plunging attacking the Taurus Demon. Unfortunately, he does not appear to want to, so I'm just gonna go ahead and run down there and go ahead and help the way he's fighting him. Looks like he's in a bit of a rush to get down with this area. Apparently, maybe he's like trying to beat a Dark Wraith or something. I don't know. I don't really care too much. I'm just here to beat the boss, get my souls and my humanity. So anyway. So yeah, this also allows me a chance to show you how the real Taurus Demons fight is kind of like. It's actually fairly similar to the Silent Demon boss fight, but not too similar, but it works. I've seen a kind of glitch where if you manage to lure the Taurus Demon's attacks properly, you can get him to jump off the edge of the bridge and die instantly, but it doesn't really work too well. Anyway, as you can see, victory achieved. He gets the items and most of the souls. You get an amount equal to half. You don't steal half of his souls or anything. And you get another humanity. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is for co-op, and that's pretty much all there is for Dark Souls too. So unless you guys want to see more of my fist run, which I uploaded, and if you want me to use my voice for that too, just let me know. I won't post anymore until I actually get noticed, and people actually start asking me to post more videos on my fist run. So anyway, if you guys want to see that, tell me so. Otherwise, class dismissed, and I'll see you in Portal.